Do you want to talk about the ROG Xbox Ally X?
Yes. What a name.
Did you watch the video?
Yes, part of it. There was a...
That's actually a really interesting answer, because I'm sure if you were hyped, you would have watched the whole thing.
Yes.
So I want your read on the hype level around this device. Oh, wait, you know what? Hold on. Hold that thought. Let's run through the details for anyone who didn't watch our video earlier this week. I went down to Activision HQ to check out the the ROG Xbox Ally X, as well as the ROG Xbox Ally. There are two models, one with a Z2 Extreme, which is a ballin' out of control Zen 5, Zen 5C, RDNA 3.5, 16CU processor. This thing is incredible. 24 gigs LPDDR5X memory, huge 80 watt hour battery, 1 terabytes of storage. This thing looks like it'll be like the king of the handhelds once it comes out in terms of performance. And then also the Ally, which has the AMD Z2A processor, which I guess indicates that ASUS learned absolutely nothing from their previous strategy of having the one that makes any sense to buy and the one that's almost as expensive but is dog shit for performance, because this one seems to have about the performance of the Steam Deck, but which would be fine if it was $350 or whatever, but it isn't, and it probably won't be. Or I shouldn't say it isn't. It probably won't be. And yeah, cool. Good luck with that. Both have a 7-inch 1080p 120 hertz IPS display, and both favor ergonomics over portability. They're not slim like the Switch 2, but they have it feels more like having a controller in your hand. A major part of the announcement, though, in my opinion, the announcement is the changes that the Xbox team has helped make to Windows to make this device tick. They claim to have cut at least 2 gigs of memory usage so far at idle, terminating useless processes and functionalities that aren't needed. They simply will not even render the desktop background if you are in the new Xbox designed interface that it will boot directly to. Very cool stuff, but is going to need a lot more testing once the Xbox team has done a lot more refinement alongside the Windows team to get this software out. And it looks like they're going to launch in tandem with each other. And I think what they're saying is holiday of this year. Microsoft talks a lot about how it's an Xbox. You can stream your Xbox games. You can play Game Pass games. You can play your PC games. What they haven't really addressed is what this means for the Xbox games that do not come with a PC license. Will this Xbox play an Xbox game unless you stream it from an Xbox? So far, I don't think I've seen an indication that it will. So that's a major question mark that people have around it. And of course, the other one is the price. So with all of that caught up, your thoughts, sir?
I think I was kind of disappointed because Xbox didn't have the cojones to just actually make this an Xbox. They should have just gone Nintendo and made a sick dock for it, and just, this is the next Xbox. And sure, whatever. We did it in collaboration with ROG.
How would that work, though?
I don't know.
Because
Make it so that the dock is a disk drive.
No, I don't mean that. I just mean the very... The entire game development pipeline is for console is just built different. And I don't think Rockstar is going to pivot and have GTA 6 ready at launch for Windows just because Microsoft came out and is like, yeah, it's an Xbox. By the way, it runs Windows. So how does that work then? Because if you came out with a handheld PC that doesn't run Windows games, they would have been crucified. So there's things that make it not an Xbox, like the fact that it isn't an Xbox.
It would have been cool if the gaming mode was essentially it being an Xbox. There isn't really hardware differences these days. They're just computers.
Okay, counterpoint. The gaming mode would only be able to be an Xbox gaming mode if they had all the way to a firmware level, like DRM, lockdowns, whatever.
You could like boot into it, I guess.
Unless they, yeah, but that's so clunky.
That does kind of suck.
That is super clunky. And realistically, let me make the argument for why I think that would be worse. Because I believe that the Ally Xbox, ROG X, Ally X, whatever, this device, the device that I was holding, is utterly fucking irrelevant from Microsoft's perspective.
Yeah.
It is simply the launch platform / like a showcase vehicle for the changes that Microsoft is making fundamentally to Windows to make it a more efficient gaming platform. And so with that in mind, I think that the Xbox branding is a little curious. Other than, I can understand why the Xbox team wants some credit for coming in and cleaning up the Windows team's mess. But really what launched is Windows getting more efficient.
Yeah, that part was cool.
Which is super exciting to me, not because I want to buy an Xbox, ROG X, Ally X, ROG, whatever, but because I want every other handheld that exists to be able to access the unfettered game compatibility of Windows on the go.
I also think I didn't end up watching the whole thing because I got distracted by some profoundly dumb comments.
Oh, really?
I'm not going to single them out because I don't even want to give them the attention, but just whoa. Genuinely unintelligent. And there was people responding to them being here are some corrections, which felt a little better.
Oh, okay. That's funny because I actually read through a lot of the comments and I shadow banned a bunch of people on that one.
Oh, it might be gone.
Okay, because there were a lot.
I jumped in early.
Okay, there were a lot that were just this is obviously paid and stuff like that. All of those people are just permabanned.
Yeah, no, it was
we disclose our paid sponsorships. Yeah. So anything that's just completely false.
Actually, no. The main one I'm thinking of did say something like that near the end of it. So it might even just be gone now.
I don't know. I also think you get a bit of a different crowd when we're talking about Xbox or when we're talking about Apple or when we're talking about Nintendo. That's something that I've really had a hard time kind of coming to grips with. It's that depending on what video we make, there's so much variety across our channel that we can be engaging with a small core audience, but outside of that, a completely different audience from one video to the next that has no interest in the other topic.
And console fanboys are absolutely still a thing.
And absolutely brain dead.
Oh yeah.
It's
big time.
I'm sorry. I don't have a retraction for you. If you're upset by the thing I just said, being that emotionally invested in a game machine to play video games, I'm sorry, I just can't. You can love the art, of the games that you play on it or whatever, but to be angry about that people choose the other one.
I kind of understood back in especially high school when the console purchasing decisions weren't even so much the kids' options. When it would be frustrating when most of your friends would get one and then it's well, I guess we just can't play with so-and-so.
But now there's cross-play.
Yeah, so I guess it's not as big of a thing anymore.
So few exclusives that matter, especially for multiplayer.
Yep.
Now that they just got to optimize that loot box revenue.
Yep.